What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother, son, Sou X in his joint. Check it out. Hit us up, www.kingandilife.com for all our podcast info. Subscribe to whatever podcast platform that you choose. Also, hit us up, KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Email us your suggestions, your feedback, and all that good stuff. Tune in to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because we are all over all those social media platforms. Stay tuned for the good stuff. Yeah, we out. All right. Hey, man. We back as the King and I Life podcast, and we are talking about science or religion. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and share.
Definitely.
If you're listening on the audio version of this, share it. But we're gonna jump back into this conversation because Son Soul X touched on something in the previous segment that I want to follow up on because it was a good goddamn point. So let's rip right back into it.
All right. So before we went to break, I was saying, that they tell us that religion was discovered in Africa, meaning the oldest man was discovered in Africa, or the oldest being, I put it like that, was discovered in Africa. But there are still parts of Africa still just now, if you will, that are starting to participate with religion. So my question, or the question I'm posing to everyone out there, is, if you're telling us that it started there and there are still people within that continent that are just now starting to discover religion, but we have it here within, the confines of our nation, I'm asking the question, how does that add up? Meaning, how does it go from that continent to our continent when there are still parts of that continent that are just now discovering religion? Again, I'm not trying to be a jackass about it. I'm just asking a question. But the point I was making before that, about the whole radio and the whole curiosity, when they gave us religion, I want to know what the hell was here before religion. So, okay, we have religion. We have what was before religion. What the hell was before that? That was before religion. That's how deep my curiosity runs. Like, I want to really know, where the hell do we really come from? I mean, do people actually stop and think about that? And, some people give us this, well, God made us, and, he made man, and he gave us woman from man. And that's all well and good if that's what you want to believe. And believe me, I'm not knocking you for believing that. But me, I'm more of I want to see it with my own two eyes before I can actually wrap my whole life existence behind a story. And true enough, there is no proof that someone can produce right now that says, okay, A, B, and C, and D is how we got here. Bam, here's your proof. Not in my lifetime will that type of proof actually come out. I don't believe. But again, what I'm simply saying is, I want to know, where in the hell did we all truly come from? And you can't give me this idea of the Bible and religion when we all know that the earth was here and the sun was here and the moon was here long before religion was even thought about. So again, I'm just posing that question.
Yeah. So I have an accompanying view,
all right,
of what you just said, but a few different viewpoints of looking at that.
All right.
Now, yes, where do we come from? Who can tell me that? Who can prove that to me? Who can concretely say man was created by God and God pulled a rib out of Adam's body and created Eve? Last time I checked, I got the same number of rib bones on both sides. So if I, me, went off of what I was told and taught, then all males should have an uneven amount of rib bones in their body.
Concur.
And with that being said, to slightly veer off my point,
All right.
there would be a clear distinction between male and female, and that conversation would be dead for those who want to claim other whatever. But I'll get back into that later. Now, getting back to it, when we talk about religion, now you talked about religion here on this continent.
Right.
Pretty much every religion on this continent was brought from somewhere else. Christianity, from what I know and understand, is not native to this continent. Christianity came from the Europeans who came over here, and it originated in Israel, Jerusalem area, from what I've understood was taught. So Christianity has made its way from down near the Middle East area up into Europe and spread throughout the world. Now, for those groups of people that you mentioned on the continent of Africa who are just now buying into Christianity or whatever religion that they're buying into, they may have resisted the ideas of these religions based off of what they practice for centuries or whatever. My issue with religion versus science is, if you tell me a man and a woman lays down with each other and produces another human, I cannot dispute that at all. That is a science that I cannot dispute, because I can also say, hey, there's two birds over here. For some reason, they got together and they made an egg, which made another bird. Fish, bats, bears, whales, they all do the same thing. Now, when we talk about religion, I don't know exactly how many different religions there are, but there are several religions on this planet. Different groups of people believe different things. And then, if I might say, when you look at Christianity, it's broken down into so many denominations. So, and for the longest time when I grew up, I thought Baptist, which I grew up as, was a separate religion of its own. I thought Protestant was its own. I thought Catholic was its own. I thought Methodist was its own. But as I got older and I started looking into it, I'm not going to say I did my own research, because the research is already done on these things. As I started looking into it, I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me that all of these religions or denominations that I thought were religions, they're just groups under one religion. It's like looking at people on the planet. You got people all over the planet, but they are different racial backgrounds for whatever. You got Russian, you got Greek, you got Roman, you got Ethiopian, you got Serbian. So under Christianity, you have all of these different things. And under Christianity alone, there's small debate on which is the right way, which I have a problem with because if it's all under Christianity, I don't understand the separation. Now, when you look at people from different places on the planet, like the ones that were native to here, I'm not going to get into black, white, this, that. I'm not getting to all that.
Right.
The ones who were native to here, they believed in a water god, a sun god, a air god, a forest god, and animals were looked at as gods. And there are several places on the planet that have that same thought process when it comes to religion, so to speak. But when I look at science, it's either this or that. And it's either you look at it from this, how it actually is, because this can be proven, or you look at this and say, well, maybe that's not right because maybe whatever. It's easier to determine something from science to me than it is from religion because religion is just way out there to me.
I would agree with that. Here's another question I'd like to pose to everyone. So let's say this land existed long before religion, meaning what we know now as the United States of America, right? So the people that were here that they told us are the Indians. Um, they had their own religion before we got here, right? What happened to those religions? Like,
Oh, that's easy to answer. That's easy to answer.
I know we could say that it was wiped out by the incoming crowd, if you will. But again, my thing is there was a religion here before supposedly the newbies. I'll put it to you like that. Before the newbies got here,
The settlers.
we could say that the settlers. What the hell did they settle? I don't really know, but anyway, before the settlers got here, there were all kinds of tribes. There were all kinds of different cultures here within this nation. Again, my first introductory to history was Indians and Pilgrims, which, now knowing what I know, that's a bunch of bullshit. But again, where did those indigenous people, where did they get their religions from? Like, who introduced them to whatever their religion was? Was it their ancestors, or did probably someone come out of the sky and say, hey, study this? I mean, the thing that I want people to realize and understand is you have to question everything. Science is cool. I love science. I love being able to prove something is an actual fact and it's not just an idea. But the thing that I think we're all being kind of brainwashed with is, so you have religion or you have science, but there's nothing on the outside of those two scopes. Those are the main things that's pushed to our societies around the world is either science or religion. But people don't stop to think, okay, what was there before science and religion? What was there? And again, we can go to what we were told was the beginning of our time, or the beginning of this solar system as we know it. But what was here before the solar system? Like, that's how curious I am as a being here on this plane. Is I want to freaking know the very thing that cooked it all off or started it all off, that's where my curiosity goes. So when people come to me with science and religion, I let them have it, meaning you are more than welcome to think whatever it is you want to think or worship whatever it is you want to worship. But I just believe that there's something way past that, way before that. And some could say, well, there's the source, meaning the great creator. Um, some may call the creator God. I don't know. Whatever it is you want to associate that with. But one thing I do know is we did not get here on our own. We didn't. And I don't give a damn how many stories about these damn we come from monkeys and all that shit you want to put out there. If that's what you want to believe, then cool. Go with that. But again, I want to know, okay, let's say we did come from fucking monkeys, right? That idea. How in the hell did the goddamn monkey get here? And if the monkey got here, what the hell was here before the monkey? And so on and so forth. That's what I'm getting at. We go ahead.
Go ahead. No, was you finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you kind of lose me when you say what was here before science. And I only say that because from me, science was always here. It's just that it took humans, modern humans, time to understand what was currently going on, to understand what happened before, along with stories being passed down for centuries and generations or whatever the case may be. Like you. Some people say God, or okay, well, what was here before that? And people will say there was nothing here before that. But you're going to be hard pressed to tell me that this was created in 7 days, because I'm not a deep Bible reader, but they said that God created the earth in 7 days. Well, when the hell were the other planets made in this solar system? Why is this the only planet with life on it if God created Earth? Are we the only living beings in this vast thing called space?
Yes, this universe.
This universe. So there are a lot of unanswered questions along with that, but man can send a rocket ship from here to other planets and see what's on these other planets. But nobody can really concretely say this about religion. Or let me stop saying religion. Christianity, because that is what's widely pushed, other than Islam. Those are two of the top two religions.
Right.
Now, when you speak of those who inhabited this land before those Europeans came over, this is the one thing that I know this is the one thing that I remember from being taught growing up. And I watch a lot of History Channel. I watch a lot of National Geographic. I watch a lot of the history documentaries and stuff like that, because that stuff is intriguing to me. Now, when you talk about those people, and I'm talking about from what is currently the United States all the way down to South America, they generally, from what I remember being taught and from what I've read and watched on TV, whatever the case may be, what I've gathered is that they generally believe the same things. So, like, they looked at the sun itself as a god because of what the sun was doing. The sun provided light, the sun helped plants and all this other stuff grow. They looked at the moon as a god. They looked at the sea as a god. They looked at the land as a god because of earthquakes, volcanoes, this, that, and the other. And from what I gathered and what I was, what I've observed is when earthquakes and volcanoes happen in acts of nature and stuff like that, they looked at that as the gods being mad at them for doing something wrong, this, that, and the other. I say all of that to say all religions have some type of tie in together when it comes to stuff like that. What bothers me is how religion has transformed into something else, whereas me, I would feel more comfortable saying the sun god did this, or the earth god did this, or the sea god did this, because this stuff I can see happening. If I can teleport myself back through the ages of time, these things are constant. These things always happen. But when you crack this book open in Christianity, this is the only religion that I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
When I say this part, this book has been translated from a language that is not natural to a lot of places on this planet. And it's been said so many times. This language is a lost language. It was translated, retranslated, and then someone throughout history, is what I've learned, did not like certain aspects of it and rewrote it to fit what was going on in the European area. And I'll leave it at that until we move further because I got some other things to say.
All right. So check this out, right? Some know the earth as Gaia. Don't ask me to spell it, but that's what it is. That's what they call her. The sun has its own name. The moon has its own name. Air has its own name. So on and so forth, as they say. But let me pose this question to everyone, right? If God is a man per se, right? If that's what we're being told.
If it was a fifth, we all be drunk.
It's the case, right? And again, I'm not here to destroy that paradigm for you. I'm not here to do that. That's not what I'm here for. But let me pose this question to you, or this scenario. Life as we know it here on this earth, right? Meaning man and woman in particular. I don't know of one man that can give natural birth. Not one man.
It's not possible.
I know that within nature there are certain fishes
I was just thinking that.
known as the clownfish, the racisis, if I'm saying that correct. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. The moray eels and the goobies, whatever that may be. These are fishes that can change their sex, like literally change their sex.
It's another one out there. I can't remember the name of it, but go ahead.
But I'll say that to say this, right? and I'm trying not to destroy anybody's paradigm here. I just want you to think, people. I just want you to think. Again, if we know that man cannot produce babies without the help of science, what makes us think man can produce? No, let me take that back. Man can carry life like that. And I'll just leave that question there for you guys.
You said man could carry life?
Yeah, I'm asking what makes us think that man can carry life.
I know that shit ain't possible because
Yeah, I don't see me holding down on 9 months like that. I don't.
It's not enough room in our
Yeah, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work.
Scientific fact right there.
Right. But again, I just posed that question to everyone. Again, I want you thinking here, people. I want you thinking. Back to the point I was gonna make about science, right? And the reason why I say that they kind of run hand in hand is, again, there are some people within the scientific community that feels like the younger scientists who are more, how should I say this? They're more eager to prove facts than to prove theory. Meaning they actually want to put one and one together to produce whatever it is, whether that's two or whether that's three. They want to see it with their own two eyes. They want to see it, touch it, feel it, smell it, know it. But the older generation within the science community are telling them, or basically throwing this big ass blockade that's saying, no, you can't think like that. Your hypothesis is all wrong. Even though everything that they're saying, the newer generation of scientists can prove what it is that they're saying. The older generation is kind of like the elders saying, no, I don't even want to look at your scientific data because it doesn't align with my idea of what this subject matter is. People, I want you guys to, with this discussion, take the discussion away. Don't look at me and soul toucher and be like, pointing your finger at us, meaning you don't like what it is that we're asking or that we're stating. That's not the reason we brought up this whole subject. This was a topic that was given to us. One of our audience members wanted to know our thoughts on it, so these are our thoughts on it. But again, what we're trying to do here is get you to think outside of the norm, meaning all the information that you've been given it's cool, it's great, but what's beyond that? That's the thing that we're trying to get you to see. What's beyond that?
Ladies and gentlemen, Son Select said take the conversation away and think outside the box. I'm going to say keep the conversation right there because these are conversations that have to be held, need to be held, should be and could be held without an argument. This is just basic conversation amongst people. But again, if you're checking this out on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. From now on, when the audio version drops, it's going to be 2 YouTube videos to correspond with it. So definitely check out whatever your preference is. And we'll be back. Soul Touch of the Poet, my brother.
Son Soul X.
King and I Life podcast. We talk about science or religion. We'll be right back, baby.
For sure.